Stop chasing her. She doesn't admire you. She doesn't desire you. She barely even notices you. The more you try, the more distant she becomes. The more effort you put in, the less interested she is. You offer her love, and she responds with silence. It's painful to witness a man doing everything he was told was right, only to be met with rejection. But here's the reality. Women don't love the way you assume they do. They don't actually want what they claim to want. But listen closely, because the moment you stop trying, stop proving, and stop chasing, everything shifts. The second you become a mystery, she suddenly starts thinking about you. Why? Because women don't value what's handed to them on a silver platter. They crave what they believe they're losing. Power is silent. If you're serious about understanding this truth, pay attention. By the time this is over, you'll grasp female psychology better than 99% of men, and you'll never be ignored again. The illusion of nice guys. Most men are trapped. Society deceived them. Women misled them. They were taught to be kind, attentive, and always available, to shower her with compliments, support her, and prove their devotion. Then they stand there, bewildered, watching her run into the arms of a man who barely acknowledges her. They ask, why does she always go for the one who treats her as if she's replaceable? The answer is simple. She isn't drawn to the man who gives her everything. She's drawn to the man she feels she has to earn. Women don't love the same way men do. Men love through loyalty and consistency. Women love through emotions and unpredictability. This is why a woman becomes obsessed with a man she can't fully figure out. If you become that man, everything changes. The power of uncertainty, if you take away just one lesson, let it be this. Women do not love like men do. A man's love is steady, logical, and unwavering. He chooses a woman and remains devoted. But a woman's love? It's emotional, conditional, and ever-changing. If the emotions fade, so does her affection. That's a hard truth. Unfair? Maybe. But reality doesn't care about fairness. Look at modern dating. A woman has an endless supply of male attention. Every time she unlocks her phone, messages flood in from men eager to impress her. Every selfie she posts gets flooded with likes, compliments, and adoration. Yet none of these men excite her. The moment she knows she has you, she stops wanting you. It's not a conscious choice, it's biological. Women are wired to pursue what they feel is slipping away. The second a man commits fully, she begins questioning. Is this really the best I can do? She needs uncertainty to feel attraction. She needs to wonder about you. Think about the one man she never forgot. The one she still brings up years later. The one she measures every new guy against. Was it the man who was always available, always reassuring her, never letting her feel even a moment of doubt? Or was it the one she never fully figured out? The one who pulled away just when she thought she had him? That's the man she obsesses over. That's the man who lingers in her thoughts. And that is the man you must become. A woman respects and desires a man who she feels she could lose. But the moment she believes she has you completely, it's over. The strength of silence. Stop explaining yourself. Stop reacting emotionally. Stop trying to win her over. A man who chases loses. Most men collapse under pressure. If she gives them an attitude, they argue. If she pulls away, they try harder. If she gets distant, they desperately try to fix it. A woman's greatest test isn't in her words. It's in her actions. Every woman, no matter how much she likes you, will test your strength at some point. She will push your buttons, challenge your confidence, and try to shift your emotions. If you react, you lose. This is why the most powerful mindset a man can have is stoicism. A stoic man remains unshaken. A woman can cry, manipulate, provoke, but he remains centered. And because he cannot be controlled, she can't stop thinking about him. Women do not respect a man who reacts emotionally like they do. They desire a man who is grounded, calm, and composed. This is why the most powerful response to disrespect isn't arguing. It isn't explaining. It isn't justifying. A weak man argues. He defends himself. He pleads for her to understand. A strong man simply pauses, looks at her, smirks, and says nothing, and in that moment, everything shifts. Now she's the one questioning. Now she's the one uncertain. And the second a woman starts wondering, she starts falling. Most men can't handle this truth. But those who do, they never struggle with women again. A lot of men assume that simply being a good person is enough to keep a woman interested. They think if they treat her well and remain consistently kind, she'll naturally appreciate them. But reality tells a different story. Every day, good men are overlooked. Why? Because a woman doesn't admire a man just for being nice. She admires a man who keeps her engaged, who has a strong sense of self-worth, and who isn't easily swayed. She values a man who isn't afraid to walk away if he's not being respected. If you embody this mindset, you won't be easily forgotten. You won't blend into the crowd. Instead, you'll be the one she remembers, the one man she couldn't fully figure out, the one who left a lasting impact. The power of push and pull, turning interest into obsession. Most men struggle with women because they become too predictable. Predictability kills excitement. And without excitement, attraction fades fast. If she always knows what you'll say, how you'll react, and how much you care, she loses interest. Women are deeply emotional. They crave variety. They want highs and lows, challenges and victories. If everything comes too easily, they stop valuing it. Think of a thrill ride. If it just moved in a straight, steady line, no one would buy a ticket. The excitement comes from the unpredictability, the anticipation, the rush of not knowing what's next. Attraction works the same way. She needs to feel like she's still earning your attention, like she hasn't fully won you. This is where the push-pull dynamic comes in, a technique that creates emotional intensity and keeps her invested. Balance attention and distance. When you're constantly available, always attentive, and overly eager, she becomes comfortable and starts taking you for granted. But if you suddenly pull back, become less responsive, shift your focus elsewhere, her mind goes into overdrive. She starts wondering why. Did she do something wrong? Is she losing you? That's when she starts chasing. Women aren't addicted to love itself. They're addicted to the emotional ups and downs that come with it. 2, give small rewards, then step back. When she does something you appreciate, laughs at your joke, compliments you, makes an effort, don't flutter with endless praise. Instead, acknowledge it briefly, with a smile or a short compliment, then shift your attention elsewhere. This leaves her wanting more, making her work harder for your validation. One of the biggest mistakes men make is staying too long when things are going well. They keep texting, keep talking, keep engaging, giving her everything up front. Instead, leave her wanting more. Right when she's most engaged, cut it short. Say, "I'll tell you the rest later," and walk away. This creates an unfinished emotional moment, keeping her thinking about you long after you're gone. Women don't obsess over the men who are always available, predictable, and easy to understand. They remember the ones who made them feel something real: excitement, anticipation, curiosity, even a little uncertainty. The moment she feels like she has you completely figured out, the chase is over. But if you remain a challenge, if she senses that she has to work to keep you, she'll never stop thinking about you. Master the balance of giving and withdrawing, and you'll stand out as a man who can't be easily replaced. People are drawn to excitement, to the thrill of what's unpredictable. If your actions follow the same pattern every time, if you're always available, always following the same routine, interest fades. The secret is to remain a puzzle. One moment, you're fully engaged, giving her all your focus. The next, you're distant, absorbed in your own world. One date, you're lively, entertaining, full of energy. The next, you're intense, serious, and thought-provoking. The moment she believes she has you figured out, she loses interest. But if she never quite knows what's coming next, curiosity keeps pulling her back. That's the key to maintaining attraction over the long run. Many assume it's a man's job to pursue, to prove his worth, to constantly seek approval. This is the expectation, until you break it. When a woman pulls away, when she stops responding, when she challenges your patience or tests your confidence, most men panic. They send more messages, try to justify themselves, and in doing so, they lose everything. Desperation is never respected. The ones who get chased are the ones who don't chase. The strongest response to disrespect is saying nothing at all. Most men struggle with silence. They feel the need to argue, explain, or prove their side. But a man of value does none of that. He stays composed, offers nothing, and lets her sit with the uncertainty. That moment lingers in her mind because she's used to men running after her. When you don't, you trigger a fear she rarely experiences. The fear of losing someone who isn't afraid to walk away. Think about past relationships. The ones who begged for attention were easily forgotten, but the ones who disappeared without explanation, they left a lasting impact. Not because they were the wealthiest or the most attractive, but because they created uncertainty. And uncertainty is the foundation of attraction. This isn't about cutting someone off for no reason. It's about mastering emotional control. Distance meets distance. If she starts withdrawing, most men push harder, trying to win her back. That's why they fail. When she pulls away, step back even further. If she texts less, stop texting altogether. If she seems uninterested, become unavailable. If she tries to make you jealous, act as if you didn't even notice. And suddenly, she starts wondering, did I lose him? Why isn't he reacting? Just like that, the power dynamic shifts. No reaction to disrespect, women test men. It's part of the game. Sarcastic remarks, cold behavior, attitude. Most men respond emotionally. They argue, defend themselves, or try to prove a point. A man who knows his worth does none of that. He simply pauses, smirks, and moves on. That's when she realizes she has no control over him. True strength isn't shown through words. It's shown through the ability to remain unshaken. No reward for manipulation. Emotional tactics are often used to provoke a reaction. Silent treatment, crocodile tears, jealousy traps. Most fall for it. They explain, apologize, try to smooth things over. But the man who remains unaffected, he's the one who stays on her mind long after he's gone. If you ever want to see how deep her emotions truly run, try this. The next time she's fully engaged in a deep conversation, pause, smirk, and say, "I'll tell you later." Then walk away. That one move will haunt her, because nothing is more frustrating than an unfinished story. The mind fixates on what it can't resolve. This is why some women never move on from certain men. They never got full closure. They never figured him out completely. And if you do this right, you'll be that man. The one who lingers in her thoughts. The one who remains a mystery. Most will never understand this. They'll keep chasing, over-explaining, and wondering why they always end up forgotten. But you won't, because now you know the truth. Women don't admire the man who hands over everything. They admire the man who makes them work for it. The one who remains composed when tested. The one who refuses to play into games. The one who knows his value and won't compromise it. That man never chases, because he's always the one being pursued.